So does it come with being like? Does it come with putting your own like stamp onto something? Like,
Yeah.
for instance, like a Hype Williams. Like, if
Mhm.
you see Belly, like, and you see any other Hype Williams project,
Right.
like, that that's Hype Williams based off the
Mhm.
color, based
The
off the
certain
Yeah,
aesthetic.
aesthetic
it's
you
all
got
about the
into it.
style. It's
Yeah.
how
Exactly, the
you.
certain aesthetic. So is
Yeah.
there any type of like things that you try to do to stamp yourself?
Well, I like to work with color, so I like for my colors to pop in all my photos. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a shirt, it could be the car, it could be the shoes. It has to be something that pops. It has to catch someone's attention. So, um, yeah, my shots are really clean. I don't like photos that are like slanted. Everything has to be straight,
Okay.
straight and cropped.
Get to the chicken. Love that OG, man. Love that OG, man.
Nobody is getting no money, bro. I swear to God, bro.
Play the fuck up, man. This is chicken talk, dog. This is chicken talk. Burn one.
I'm trying to get to the chicken.
Look, KB. Go ahead, bring that in.
Y'all niggas do y'all, bro. Do y'all, niggas. Fuck y'all talking about.
Alright, go ahead.
Fuck is wrong with y'all, nigga?
Oh, what the fuck I got this?
We here, man. It's Chicken Talk, man. It's
The
your boy.
podcast.
It's your boy KB
Yeah, I
alongside
cut you
me.
off.
Man, fuck you. Welcome to Chicken Talk. It's your boy KB
The
alongside,
podcast.
alongside me. It's your boy.
Renzo alongside me. I said alongside me is Milan, a photographer in the area.
One of the best in the area, nigga. Fuck you talking about right now, I mean. Yeah, Milan, man. Tell us your social real quick. Tell us where we can find you.
On Instagram, Milan S Savage, and also Milan's Image.
Okay, so we got Milan Savage in the building with us today, man. First off, we want to bring Milan here to, of course, tell us what she capable of doing for you guys, what she capable of doing for us maybe one day, what she capable of doing for your mother one day, you with me? But today, man, we want her to explain, the whole process of what she did to get into this photography game, what she also, want to leave upon you guys. So first off, tell us, how did you begin photography?
So when I was little, my mom used to document everything that I did. So from recitals to being in the house and singing, and then
So she was like the type that got your first steps on camera.
yeah,
type shit?
definitely. She used to record me too on her camcorder, and when I was old enough, I used to take it to school with me. It was like the last day of school. I did this twice, and I used to document my friends, just them goofing off and just saying their last words, because I know I wouldn't see them again until the next school year started.
Okay.
And then I met this guy, Visual Vaughn on Instagram. He told me that I had a good camera. Like, my parents bought me a Nikon, and I used it for about 3 years. I got it when I was a freshman at Duke Ellington, and I just played around with it, did the same thing that I did when I was little, was just document everybody. And after he told me that I had a good camera and I should use it, after those years, after like a year or two that I stopped using it, that basically motivated me to take pictures. And I didn't know I was that good. It just came naturally.
Okay.
All right. Well, before we jump on to what it is that you do, where are you from? Like, where did you grow up at?
I was raised in Northeast Washington. Fort Lincoln, around a bunch of old folks.
I know
So
exactly
I
where
feel like
that's
I
at.
have an old soul. So I have a lot of love for old people and the old ways in like the early 2000s. And, I was born in Silver Spring, and right now I live in Northwest Washington. Been there for about 10 years now.
Okay.
Okay. And you say you went to Duke Ellington.
hmm
Can you tell us about Duke Ellington for the people who never heard of it? in our
Duke
area?
Ellington is a school for the arts. It's a high school. They have different departments, like vocal departments, which I was in. They have dance, visual arts, which is drawing. They have, what is it? LMC, which is writing.
Okay.
What else? Oh, theater, and there was tech. So like production and everything.
Okay. Yeah. So for y'all uneducated people, Duke Ellington is from the DMV, and he does have a school in the city. You know what I'm saying, revolved around the arts and everything like that.
But
So
hold on. But now speaking on like that versatility, I kind of like see it when I even look at your Instagram that you're interested in a lot more than just photography.
Yeah, definitely.
So like, would you consider photography to be like your primary passion, and what other passions do you have?
For right now, yeah, I would say photography is my primary. passion, but I really love fashion. I try to incorporate fashion into my photography, so editorial photography, fashion photography, and I like to sing too. I dance here and there, but photography is just what I'm focused on right now.
Do you have any aspirations for like videography one day?
Oh,
or-
definitely. That was my goal like a long time ago. I wanted to go to Full Sail University for directing or film, and it was like 84,000.
I'm about to say we hear that story a lot. My man at work, he went to Full Sail and like
Really?
he said like the experience and everything was worth it. Like it definitely gets you used to like I guess if your aspiration is to work in the industry, like it
Yeah.
definitely prepare you for that.
Right.
But I mean, you could definitely save a lot of money if you just like work your way around it
Right.
other ways.
Yeah.
But
So,
definitely.
but is that type of field where like you can kind of like, is it a field where you can use your experience rather than the knowledge and stuff like that, like going to Full Sail or going to another university or even do Gallatin? Is there a way for like the people who don't have that capability to like go out, like get it from the ground up, really? Like
Right.
you know what I'm saying, like start off on their own and teach themselves. Is that
Yeah.
a way to get into the
Yeah,
into the
definitely.
game?
That's basically what I did. No one really taught me how to use the camera. I don't really like asking people for help. I don't like asking anyone for help. So, yeah, I basically taught myself how to use it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was working with the audio on my camera, so it was just shooting. I was pointing and shooting, and that's all I was doing until I met a photographer in Puerto Rico, and they told me like you need to start using manual on my camera, and I didn't know what that was, and like the shutter speed and the ISO and all that, but it took some time, and then you just get used to it. It's real easy. It's not hard at all. It's just you have to take time out to actually want to,
to figure the camera out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one only thing I really know about cameras, I'm not like too into the cameras and photography and stuff like that. I love it, you know what I'm saying? Like one day hopefully I could be a model if I look good enough for some people. You know what I mean? But the most thing I know is like the lens. So can you tell us specifically what in your eyes what makes a great camera or what makes a great photographer? Like is it the camera that makes the photographer or is it the photographer that makes the camera?
I feel like it's the photographer makes the camera, but yeah, the photographer makes the camera.
Burn one.
I've actually met someone on Instagram who had a camera that was like way bigger than mine, like a heavy duty with this huge lens, but he
Right.
didn't really know how to use it. And I
Right.
have a real standard lens. Anyone can use this, and I take way better shots than him. It doesn't really matter what lens you have. Well, what camera you have. It all
Okay.
depends on the lens that you have.
Right, and that's what I heard.
Yeah, the lens, like I work with a 40 millimeter. That's my favorite. That's the lens that the photographer in Puerto Rico gave to me, and I use it. It's like a nice close shot. So I can't zoom or anything. Can't zoom out. Can't zoom in, and yeah, it works perfectly for me. I get a nice depth of field, so like the blur in the background, so it kind of focuses on like the subject that's in front of you, and it's real nice. But yeah, the lens always matters. But
Right, and is there like a specific type of thing you look for when it comes to your shoots, or when it comes to like the vision that you get behind the lens rather than the person feel
Yeah.
being in front of it?
Yeah.
Is there a certain thing that you look for with that?
I look for personality. I'm not really a photographer that likes like posy pictures. I kind of like to catch people when in their natural state, so off
Okay.
guard. So
Right.
I can ask somebody a question and they start laughing, but I won't take their picture right then and there. I'll just wait until they get comfortable.
Okay.
He kind of led into a question that I have. I kind of want to know, like, how do majority of your shoots, like, come about? Like, is it, like, you have a vision and you reach out to people that you know that you think are, like, executed well? Or,
Yeah.
like, do people more so reach out to you?
It's usually both. I usually get ideas from things I see on Instagram. So like a piece of clothing, I usually work around that. So if I see like a pair of shoes, like, oh, okay, I like those shoes. Maybe we can go to a basketball court and throw on a tee, and I'll call somebody who can probably provide the clothes for us. Or if it's something that they want, so if it's for their birthday or a clothing brand or just something that they want like professionally, like a professional photos or
Right.
anything. Yeah.
And are you into like creative direction as well? Because I mean, I know
Mhm.
being a photographer, you know, you have to conduct a lot of the visuals and stuff like that, as far as
Yeah.
editing and backdrops and
Yeah.
I mean, what's your
scenery.
favorite part of the creative process in general? Because I was
Right.
also
Yeah.
going to say that like I kind of get the vibe that you like your work behind the. I mean,
Mhm.
you like editing just as much as you like doing the
Yeah,
actual shoot and stuff. So
creating.
like, what exactly would you say is your favorite part of the entire creative process when you about to do a shoot?
Definitely help styling. I like to help style my models. Cause I like shooting people, but I like to shoot what they're wearing. I want to sell their
Organic,
clothes.
make it seem
Yeah.
organic.
Yeah.
Right. So you're rather going for, we have a
Mhm.
photo shoot. This a clothing brand. We
Mhm.
got this. We got this particular shirt, this
Mhm.
particular shoes, this
Yeah.
particular pants. Like
Yes.
you want to take pictures that's organic. You know,
Mhm.
like catch them in the
In the
which-
moment.
exactly in
Yeah.
the moment, and you want the idea of the photo to be centered specifically on the garment.
Definitely.
Okay, because I know some people, man. I be seeing a lot of these photographers out here. I ain't gonna say no names, man. Y'all do y'all thing, but when it comes to some particular advertisements and stuff
Mhm.
like that, you kind of get sidetracked as to what
Yeah.
they want you to be focusing on. Am I
Exactly.
focusing on the model?
Distractions, that's
Am I
what-
focusing on how bad this girl look? You know, or am I focusing
Bad,
on?
bad in what way? Because a lot of times it ain't in a good way.
But am I focusing on? Am I focusing on this model?
Right.
Or am I going to focus on the garment? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because a lot of people in this area, you know, it's a lot of clothing designers out here
Mhm.
nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a lot of photo shoots. It's been a lot of creative direction.
Right.
And there's been a
Going on.
lot of people waking up and deciding to change their Instagram bio to model or some shit.
Nah,
Like
no
that.
bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I asked. You know, because you know that insight can kind of help the next man.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if I'm looking at if I'm looking at this design, I mean, I'm looking at this, you know what I'm saying, photo shoot, and
Mhm.
I'm trying to get an idea what this clothes look like, but it's really like almost like a face shot,
Right.
particularly. You know, I get kind of lost. So is that something that you provide for the people your constituents, the people who reach out upon you to, you know what I'm saying, for your service? Do you provide creative direction for these photo shoots as well?
Definitely. I directed a video not too long ago. I was basically just telling them where to stand and how to look and bring energy, and that's about it. Also, I want to get more into like styling the people and
Right.
finding the location. I was just there to direct them in the spot that we were in, but I want to do more. I know I can do more. Tinley Town, there's this huge hill. It's right behind my old high school, so Wilson High School.
Right.
It's like a huge field and has like this big hump, but it goes up all the way up to this fence, and you can see basically most of, I think, is that Virginia maybe, and like Maryland, like Bethesda, Maryland.
I'm
So
about to say, I think that's uptown, so
Yeah.
technically it's probably like Bethesda.
yeah,
so
but it's a
Chevy
nice
Chase,
view.
or-
I like how it's like wide and open. It's
Right.
usually like these flowers, these yellow flowers that grow like only a certain time. You have to get them while they're there because it's rare that you ever see them. I know that I usually work with a lot of people who don't usually shoot. They don't shoot often. They're always first timers. So I always have to creative direct. I have to tell them to pose this way and look that way and hold up your arm like this and maybe pull your shirt like that. So it's
Right.
just
It get a little cliche.
yeah, but
sometimes.
it has to come natural. I don't want it to be posy. It has to look right and it has to grab people's attention.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
know you didn't mention modeling earlier, but like, do you enjoy that too, or do you just like you say you just like taking pictures? Because I see you like you're in front of the camera a lot
Yeah,
too.
Man,
like to
she
take
told you, man. Her mom been
pictures.
capturing these moments.
Hey,
Hey,
nigga, I'm talking to
she
her,
used
fool.
to that. She used to tell her, man. You used to that spot like you was built for this,
When
man.
I was little. Yeah, when I was little, my mom actually, she was a model. Like she was hot in the 80s.
Okay.
So
What's her name?
I'm going to have to look that.
Whoever.
But anyway, she had me in one of her, was it Howard alumni shows, and I was about
Okay.
5. I did it twice, so like when I was 3 and 5, I think. And I've been on runway. I've been done runway and all that. But I like modeling here and there, but I don't feel like I'm comfortable or confident to do it. So
But do you
that's why I
think
take
it
pictures.
allows you to like connect to the people that you're trying to help do these shoots a little bit more?
Yeah. So I know how they feel, and I know how it feels to be in their shoes when I'm behind the camera. So I feel like us connect.
So I want to know, man. So we got a lot of people in this area, you know, who does the photography thing now. One notable person I know is Full with the camera. He do a real good job. I think his name is Allure, right? The guy who does
Films? You talking about videography?
Allure
or
films,
something?
yeah. Well, videography, but I also seen some of these guys dive into like, you know, a slight.
I mean, that's what a lot of people
you
start
know.
off as photography and like
Right.
they wish to get into videography. That's I guess that's another question for you because
And
the
that's exactly
perspective
what
I
I'm about to
get
say.
is that
What's
like
the difference between?
is videography like a lot harder to like break into, or is it like more difficult to get a grasp of? Like why exactly?
I feel like it is. It's a lot that goes into videography. You have like the software, and then you have After Effects, and then, I mean, it all depends on like the artist or whoever they're recording, how they like the style they want, and it's just the angles, everything. It's a lot that comes with it, and the stabilizers. You don't want your videos to be like shaky. You want it to be real clean. So it's a lot that goes into it.
Okay, so like, you know, like Ronnie said, because he kind of beat me to the punch. I was really going to say, like, with a lot of these guys, like when I kind of seen them when they first began.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like, I think not more so with Full the Camera, but a lot of these guys, like, you kind of seen them in the photography way, and then they kind of crept their way more so into the videography. So how do you feel about the differences between photography and videography? Do you feel more comfortable with the photography rather than the videography, or are you good at both?
I feel like I'm decent at videography, and I'm better in photography. I like to record like little snippets here and there. So like if I'm like introducing like a brand, I did one. I introduced this girl's brand. She wanted me to shoot like 5 outfits of this one girl that I helped help bring along on this project, and yeah, it was pretty nice. It didn't take too long. It was real quick, and yeah, so it wasn't too hard.
It's like, I mean, I like it, but I don't like it.
Yeah, no,
it's not your thing.
yeah,
like that.
not really, not yet.
Okay, yeah, I mean, because, you know, versatility is everything.
Yeah.
You know? But also, too, with that being said, like mentioning some of those guys, I don't see too many women, you know, who really been diving into that field. Like, I know I've seen one girl do her thing, Abby, the homie on Instagram. You know, I've seen, like, more so towards the famous people, you know, like, what's her name? Ravi B and Ranella Ice and all these people, like, these high women. But in our area, I don't see too many of women in our field. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like this your time, or
yeah, definitely
you got some guys about the way?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a name for myself for sure, because I am like one of the few women photographers in the area, because I know this is a male dominant industry, and it's hard for, I know, a lot of people to get comfortable with these male photographers. So that's why I try to step in, like, here I am.
Yeah, go ahead, feminist.
Let me take your clientele.
So yeah, so you said it's time to move them guys out the way and step
of course,
up, right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a lot of women. It's a lot of women in the game with the, you know, with the designing thing, and you know, like I said, Rico Nasty with the music.
Burn one.
In this day and age, producers literally like make the song. Like if it's a song that's a hit or something like that, is usually due to the producer for real. But like you might not. It may take some research for you to find out whoever the fuck produced it for real. Like they're not even really putting them on the forefront. Do you see that in the photography industry as well? Like when people reach out to you, like are they like, I don't know, really trying to put you on just as much as?
Yeah, I feel like now Instagram is like taking over, and everyone wants a nice quality picture, but they don't want to give the credit to the photographer. Like they want the picture, but they won't give them the credit until later on, and say, a photographer mentions, oh, did you tag me? Can you do this? Can you do that? And like afterwards, like no one's gonna go back and look at that picture and like, oh, it was.
Oh yeah,
it
let
was
me
taken
read
by-
these comments.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of women out here, man. Maybe it's time for y'all to stick together. If y'all need a
Yeah.
photographer, man, if y'all need a potential videographer sometime down in the line, Milan Savage is your girl, man. You hear me? That's the girl for you. You know, we gotta stick together. So,
That's
you know,
true.
being from DC, being from this area, how do you feel about the DMV? Like, what's your? And,
I feel like well, I wouldn't say everyone, but most people are selfish. They don't want to help each other out. It's like get to the top. So it's like we're crabs in a barrel. So we're like pulling each other down. We're not really building anything.
right. Yeah. I mean, we haven't been doing this. We haven't been doing this interactive here for too long, but we did. We had a couple people up here, and
Saying
you
the same exact
and
shit.
you're saying really the same thing. So it's starting to
Yeah.
become
We
a
knew
trend, man. I mean, we knew it, but you know what I'm saying. Sometimes you gotta put the proof in the pudding. You gotta put the video, or you gotta put the stuff in front of people. Cause like this is about our fourth person that came up here and said and mentioned the crabs in the bucket. So what do you feel needs to be done with them? Me and you know, Chicken Talk to Milan the Savage or to whoever.
Milan Savage.
Milan Savage. Milan the Savage. So I'm gonna start calling her Milan the Savage. Milan the Savage. Chicken Talk. You know, how do you feel about any type of things that could be done, whether it's between us, whether it's between the rest of the people throughout the DMV? What do you feel like could be done for everybody to stop being the crab in the bucket and start, you know what I'm saying, pulling each other out, you know?
I feel like we should start by networking for sure. So I know everybody knows everybody basically in DC and in Maryland and all that.
Right.
So I feel like if we network, I would definitely love to work with Eat for sure. He's dope, but I know he does his own photography here and there, and he works with like.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's what he started off as for real before.
And he a DJ.
Yeah, see,
I'm about to say
you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, y'all doing this.
If it's your
if
you really love it, then you should do it.
In the designing, you know what I'm saying. So you in the photography, you like singing. You was singing in school, so you got like a more personal feel connection to a lot of these different interactors throughout this area. How do you feel about, you know, the clothing industry? How do you feel about the music industry? How do you feel about all these things that's around us in our area?
Do you think things could be better? Because I mean, I definitely see a lot of improvements that could be made in, I'll say, the clothing industry specifically, and even music, just like growing some individuality amongst our artists. It's kind of
I feel like I'll mention this guy Malik who makes Eat. I've seen a lot of a few brands who've, I wouldn't say copied his style, but they have like the same thing.
Not to cut you off, but you are literally this go out to Eat, man. You say his name Malik.
Nah, because it's really
go out to
speaking
Eat,
to him,
bro. Because this speak out to you, bro. Like I hope you see this shit. Like everybody that came up on this set, man, they real, like they say Eat. Like he real set the bar for everybody out here.
That's what I'm trying to do. Make a name. He made a name for himself.
But he perfect though because he got the South Side on lock. He got niggas grandmothers. You hear me? Wearing his shit. You see what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah, everybody.
All age groups at that too.
Right.
Yes,
he got to the point he just tell niggas where to come get this shit and that shit move.
And they pull up, we be crowds of people.
Be in the works. Is there any particular thing that sticks out to you that you love about the DMV? Because we don't want to speak all about hate, man.
Right.
How you?
I'm about to say even the artists or the people that you see doing something that you know that you like.
Yeah, well, I like the art for sure. Everybody seems to be talented in their own way. Right. So everybody wants to be original. Everybody doesn't want to do the same thing. They want to stand out in some way. So that's what I really like.
So you like the originality there?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we do have our originality, but I kind of feel the other way. You know? I feel like our originality kind of trends from other people's originality. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be you. You want to be your own you, but at the same time, you're trying to be your own version of such and such.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's trying to be their best version of themselves. It seems like they evolving themselves from the ideal, the image from another person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not to douse it, but at the same time, I just like to note, you know what I'm saying, from you to the rest of our interviewees and the other people coming in the future, how do y'all feel about this, man? Because, you know what I'm saying, it starts to become a growing trend. And then, you know, a lot of us feel the same way. Like, yeah, fuck the DMV. Nobody networking, nobody doing this, nobody doing that. But at the same time, we want better. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully, man, like I say every time, man, I'm going to say it every Thursday. You going to hear it, nigga. Chicken Talk, man. We going to bring everybody together, man.
Get to the chicken.